Hello, good evening. Welcome to Prime Business with me, Pius Kojo Baka. To our very first story, government is asking for stakeholder support to enable the early passage of the economic programs outlined in the 2024 budget. This is crucial to ensure that the path to economic recovery is successful. Deputy Minister of Finance, Adverstising, made the passionate call when she spoke at the 2024 budget dialogue organized by Deloitte Ghana. There's more in this report.
The 2024 budget is described as crucial due to the state of the economy and the many challenges government would have to solve before the year ends. According to Deputy Finance Minister Adverstising, all the tax reliefs and economic policies can be achieved when Parliament is able to pass the appropriation bill on time to allow for implementation as scheduled in the budget. Speaking to Joy Business after addressing the Deloitte Economic Dialogue in Accra, she acknowledged the expectations of the public and agreed to work together in achieving the target.
This time in the first place, we were able to negotiate for the base pay before sending the budget to Parliament, and that is the kind of support we are calling for, making sure that things happen so that the long-term effects will be positive. Again, we are also asking that we know that in the 2024 budget, we are asking for support to raise revenue, additional revenues of about 0.9% of GDP. And so we'll be coming to Parliament with some revenue measures. And we ask that the public speak to their members of Parliament to make sure they support us to let this happen. We are asking also for Parliament to give government, grant government the opportunity to give some reliefs to companies in the form of tax waivers. And we believe this will also help boost the capacity of our local companies. So this is where we are going to ask for support from all of us. And again, when it comes to expenditure, we have spelled out the quantum of monies that we hope to spend.
Managing partner Deloitte Ghana, Daniel Owusu, hinted that the 2024 budget is very critical to government and hence must be implemented to the letter.
This is the budget that is coming after the IMF program, and it's also coming just before elections. So we are going into elections here. So there's a lot of expectation, and you know, people have gone through DDP with all the inflation and the exchange rate matters. So this was a budget that had a lot of expectation around it. Everybody was looking forward to what the budget will entail and what it was going to, the impact was going to have on the populace. And that is why this year's budget, we saw that it's a special budget that we have to show interest and be keen on the details.
Business partners and some clients of Deloitte are, however, not enthused about the inability of government to review some of its tax handles in the budget statement.
More on the budget, accounting and auditing firm PwC is cautioning the government against celebrating the revival of the economy dubbed turning the corner. In its overall perspective on the 2024 budget, it said there is still quite some distance from the finish line. Here's more in this report.
To PwC, the next lap could be the hardest section yet to run. However, it said the 2024 budget contains some socio-economic development programs which, if implemented properly, could deliver desired results. It expressed worry about the 2024 election spending, saying there are significant threats to disciplined budgetary execution that the government would have to face off to stay on track to achieve the broad medium-term target of recovery, stability, and growth. It therefore advised the government to adopt sound project selection and implementation approaches that will lead to producing commercial scale model that would serve as effective anchors for driving the sector-wide transformation envisaged for the priority sector listed in the medium-term growth strategy. Specifically, it urged the government to avoid the temptation to be overly generous in its application of social protection and poverty reduction principles.
Government has been advised to prudently allocate resources to reduce wastage in the 2024 budget. According to the Chief Executive Officer of Deluxe Finance, Ken Thompson, government has failed in managing the economy, and the only way to ensure proper utilization of resources going forward is to intensify advocacy. He spoke on the sidelines of the top business leaders meeting organized by the BNFT.
The Minister for Finance presented the budget statement and economic policy for the 2024 financial year to Parliament on 15th November 2023. The budget statement was under the theme Pursuing Growth and Development Within a Stable Macroeconomic Environment. However, financial analyst Ken Thompson has described the budget as an overestimation of what the country can spend.
We should only spend what we can afford. I mean, we're increasing expenditure for 176 billion to over 200 billion. And the government is increasing salary for public service workers by 22%. Come on. Which country has become successful when public sector employees are paid more than the private sector? The government has shown itself incapable of allocating resources. Take any sector: health, transport, education, light manufacturing, just name it. All governments over time have shown that they are incapable of utilizing the resources they are given, and all the money that has put in there has gone to waste. Compare financial services, compare all those industries to those in the private sector. So we need to advocate for the government to implement measures that support the system. But they're not going to do it because we asked them to do it. They're going to do it because we talked about it, we advocated for it, we fight for our children. That's when it's going to happen.
The Business and Financial Times organized the top business leaders meeting, which saw some business leaders spanning various industries. Chief Executive Officer of BNFT, Dr. Godwin Akwe, explained the rationale behind the event.
When you look at the Western world, the business community is that which, shapes government policy and ensures that the government does what it's supposed to do. In Ghana, I don't think we take the business community very seriously. So we came by this, critical mass of business leaders, come together, sit and deliberate on issues that we think next year, that's 2024, it will help impact on business positively.
The top business leaders meeting was under the theme Economic and Business Outlook 2024, Perspectives from Business Leaders.
And to some other stories, the agricultural sector will soon experience digital transformation through the Planting for Food and Jobs Phase 2. Speaking at this year's Rice Festival held in Accra, Deputy Minister of Food and Agriculture, Yao Frimpong Ado, disclosed that the registration of farmers onto the PFJ2 digital platform will commence from December 1. This, he says, will help effectively manage and, of course, the crop market as well.
In Ghana, the use of mechanized systems of land preparation and farm activities have gained prominence, which has resulted in reduced drudgery and removed some bottlenecks in agricultural value chain. However, the incorporation of digital platforms to monitor farms have seen a slow adoption process. But the Ministry of Food and Agriculture says the Planting for Food and Jobs Phase 2 will change the narrative. Yao Frimpong Ado is Deputy Minister.
The program seeks to shift from direct input subsidy to a smart agricultural input credit system linked to structural market arrangements. The registration of farmers to commence the beginning of the PFJ2 will be launched, will start from 1st December, and it will be launched in Takwa during the celebration of this year's Farmers' Day. Because it's upon the registration that your farm, your beautiful 5-acre farm, will be captured on the platform. And at that point, you are going to get every input that you require to keep your farm in shape for you to become a commercial farmer from that day. So once your farm is captured, Nana, everything that you do on the farm is known by the district officers, the regional officers, and at the national level. So we know when your farm is doing well or when your farm is failing, so that you can be assured of your output. And after the deductions, you'll be laughing all the way to the bank.
Meanwhile, the Ghana Rice Interprofessional Body is calling on government to develop the inland valleys to promote rice farming in Ghana. President of GRIP, Nana Eje Aye II, believes this will double production and increase job opportunities.
We, the farmers, or the actors in the rice industry, realized that it's a big industry, a huge one, that if well organized, like I said earlier on, we're going to create a lot of jobs. And we are, honestly speaking, sick and tired of doing the media, talking every day, every year we come around and talk and nothing happens. This time, we are very specific. We are asking government to develop the inland valleys. The inland valleys is producing over 300,000 metric tons a year. If you develop the inland valleys to produce twice in a year, we double production. That is why it is important we have this rice festival, and for us to be able to let the whole world or the whole Ghana know that the rice industry is lacking and we need a push to get it to the top.
65% of rice consumed in Ghana is imported. Hence, increased investments in the sector will revolutionize the sector.
Away from the agric sector, Electroland Ghana has unveiled its new range of media air condition, the Unicool AC. According to sales manager Vincent Azanbikok, the company will continue to provide good offerings to its customers across the country. He spoke to Joy Business at a media launch of the Unicool AC.
According to the sales manager, the Unicool AC is smart and power efficient. He said Electroland Ghana will give out good products to the local market. Thus, he said it's aimed at ensuring that consumers get the best of every innovation in home appliances by top brands around the world.
Electroland Ghana Limited is known to bring the state-of-the-art technologies to the Ghanaian market. And then we are glad today to announce Unicool is here and is present on the Ghanaian market. And then we are privileged to have it as part of our lineup. The main function of this particular AC that differentiates it from other ACs is that one, you can have one outdoor unit serving 2 indoor units. And then it has the ability for you to regulate the power the AC is actually consuming. So basically, even if you have a generator that it's not very big in terms of the KVA, you are still able to use your air conditioner as well as use other appliances in your house. So this is state-of-the-art technology, especially in our market where we have issues with our power supply. Another key function is that it's very efficient. Most inverter air conditioners which are on the market can give you up to 50% on your power savings on your power consumption. This particular AC gives you up to 70%, and we all know we would like to save some money on our power consumption. So it's very efficient, it's silent, and it's smart.
TV host and brand ambassador for Electroland Ghana Limited, Dolores Frimpong Manso, entreated consumers to take advantage of the offers presented by Electroland.
I would like to tell all consumers, especially people who are thinking or planning on buying new air conditioners, to switch to Unicool air conditioners. It's much easier, the energy consumption is lower, it's smart and it's cool, and once you start it, it starts cooling immediately. You don't have to wait for it to like warm up before it starts cooling. So I mean, this is a new technology and we should all embrace Unicool air conditioners.
Marketers within the advertising space have been entreated to position themselves toward fostering industry growth, knowledge sharing, and innovation within the dynamic landscape of media and advertising in Africa. Speaking to Joy Business at the 5th edition of the Africa Media Ad Sales Summit, its Chief Executive Raymond Smith said the 2-day summit will help drive success in the ever-evolving media landscape in Africa, with a core focus on media advertising sustainability through revenue generation and monetization strategies.
The industry is huge. There's a big market, for us. There's a lot of innovation driving our market, and so this year's theme is exploring media advertising, and business innovation, driving growth and profitability. There's a saying that if you don't innovate, you expire. So it's in the innovations that will bring us the improvement. From where media channels sit, from where clients sit, everybody is looking for avenue to innovate. It's the innovations that will be able to make us, progress within the market. So whether you run a TV, you run a radio, you run an online platform, if you don't even innovate with your content, you won't be able to get the right audience. So for us, innovation is key. So this year, our theme is exploring business innovation and how best we can use innovation to drive growth and profitability. Yeah.
You're still watching Prime Business. Chairman of the EAS Brown Card Council of Bureau, Henry Bukari, has indicated that the scheme will be digitized in 2024 to enhance insurance delivery in the sub-region. According to him, digitizing the scheme will enhance claims payment and promote harmonization of the financial sector to facilitate West African trade. Now, the EAS Brown Card scheme is a regional insurance scheme established to facilitate free movement of vehicles across member states within the economic bloc. He has been speaking at the ongoing 39th Ordinary General Assembly of the Council of Bureau of the scheme.
The EAS Brown Card insurance scheme was established to facilitate free movement of vehicles across member states within the economic community of West African states, ECOWAS. The 39th Ordinary General Assembly of the Council of Bureau witnessed a gathering of heads of insurance institutions across the sub-region to deliberate on ways to harmonize the insurance space in West Africa. Speaking to the media on the sidelines of the ongoing assembly, Chairman of the Council of Bureau, Henry Bukari, indicated that the digitization of the card will ensure a seamless insurance process across borders.
The Brown Card has gone through a lot of phases and positive phases, and we are about to launch into the next phase. And what is the next phase? We are moving into the phase of digitalization. And yesterday at our executive committee meeting, we discussed it extensively. Starting from my tenure next year, we'll be moving from the hardcore paper Brown Card that you see. So my tenure will be focusing on digitalizing the Brown Card.
He explains the rationale behind the EAS Brown Card insurance scheme.
The EAS Brown Card is an extension within the West African sub-region of your third-party motor insurance. What it means is that when you drive out of Ghana to any of the countries in the sub-region, the benefits that you have for your third-party insurance, i.e. protecting you against liability for causing damage to someone's property or causing injury or death to a third party, is covered. So the essence of it is to allow you to be able to freely move within the sub-region and also do business without worrying about the risk of having huge liabilities on you. These liabilities are transferred to your insurance company through the EAS Brown Card.
Toji Kwasi, Permanent General Secretary of the Council of Bureau, noted that the establishment of a harmonized compensation guidelines will ensure a seamless rollout of the scheme.
Language can be a barrier, but we have overcome that by establishing or by putting in place a harmonized compensation guideline, which cuts across both the Anglophone, the Francophone, and the Lusophone region. Because in this scheme, we have 3 zones: Francophone, Anglophone, and the Lusophone. So we have come together, we have agreed on terms of claim guidelines, which we call the harmonized compensation guidelines. And that serves as a blueprint, and it clears out all ambiguities and all challenges that might come up.
Minister of Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation, Dr. Kweku Ifriye, is calling for collective efforts from government institutions and countries under the Economic Community of West African States to combat climate change. According to him, it is important for farmers to adapt to the challenges brought about by the climate change as governments take steps to mitigate its impact. He was speaking at the 5th Wascal Ministerial Committee.
The 5th Wascal Ministerial Council meeting is geared towards deepening the relationships among the country members at policy-making levels. It is being held under the theme Journey Towards Climate Resilience to Improve Livelihoods in West Africa and Building Sustainable Partnerships and Policies. Minister of Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation, Dr. Kwekwe Friye, who addressed the meeting, called for collective efforts to combat and reduce the effect of climate change on the environment and farmers.
We should be reminded as Africa players, Africa plays both state and non-state actors, that our continent has been and is still being hit hard by climate change. Our collective efforts, therefore, to fight the common security threat will go a long way to win the battle against climate change. I've always advocated that since we are small, only a minuscule emitters, less than 4%, maybe we should, the conventional wisdom out there is that we should not waste executive time discussing that, and we should leave these issues to the global north and the emerging big economies like India and China to deal with. But we have an enlightened self-interest. We suffer most, but we even have something to show to the rest of the world, even how to adapt. The other time I just came from Abu Dhabi, and I told her that poor farmers in Africa are still investing in adaptation. I'm a cocoa farmer, and I know that even the habitats of poor farmers, they have adapted by using materials which can withstand the ravages of the climate.
Head of Division of Climate Change at the German Federal Ministry of Education and Research, Dr. Carsten Hess, urged other institutions to support WASCA financially to reduce its reliance on the BMBF.
WASCA's scientific and climate services should benefit all of its member countries. There's still great potential to develop such climate services. Second, WASCA is in urgent need of a solid financial basis that goes beyond the support from BMBF. All member countries must be aware that membership fees are paid. Additionally, third-party funds must be increased to reduce WASCA's dependence on BMBF funding. This challenge must be addressed by the coming new executive director.
WASCA is a body that aims to provide information and share knowledge at the local, national, and regional levels to West African member countries to cope with the adverse impact of climate change.
I really appreciate your company. I am Pius Kojo Baka. Prime Sports is next, but we've got international business for you.